with us. We've had a lot of fun seeing them and, of course, sharing them with you. Time now for the Fox 13 11 o'clock news.
You're watching Fox 13, and the 11 o'clock news starts now.
Closed the door, started the engine, and no sooner did I do that than that's when it happened.
For comfort, a former Tampa resident shares the scary experience of being just blocks away from a massive blast in Tennessee.
I wouldn't even call it side effects. I would call it the effects of the vaccine.
Reports are coming out about side effects linked to COVID-19 vaccines, while this doctor says some are actually a good sign.
And I didn't want to go back early and not finish the missions.
And a group made sure her dedication was recognized with a special honor she'll remember every time she unlocks her front door. Good evening and Merry Christmas. I'm Haley Hines. Thanks for being with us. We begin at 11 tonight with a devastating attack in Tennessee. An RV parked in downtown Nashville exploded early this morning. Investigators say right before the blast, a recording warned that a bomb was going to be detonated before the RV blew up, taking out several buildings. Now investigators believe they may have found remains of a body near the scene. Fox's Charles Watson has the latest.
The FBI and ATF taking the lead in the investigation of a massive explosion here in downtown Nashville, where police say they may have found human remains.
We have found tissue that we believe could be remains. There's matter all over the area down there, and so we'll continue to examine that to see if it is human remains.
Right now, authorities are looking for any information they can find about the explosion. Not long ago, Metro Nashville police releasing this photo of the RV. They say it arrived at 2nd Avenue North in downtown Nashville around 1:22 this morning before police say it was deliberately blown up.
Initial evidence does show that the early morning explosion was a deliberate bomb.
And you can see the damage caused by that massive explosion in this video taken by a resident. Trees knocked down, windows blown out. The force of the blast also causing structural damage to several buildings in the area.
I was laying in bed and there was just the biggest explosion I've ever heard. It just knocked the windows from the front room into the back. It knocked the front door off the hinges. The water started coming down from all the pipes.
Metro Nashville police had originally responded to reports of shots fired around 5:30 a.m. local time. When officers arrived, they saw that suspicious RV and say it was playing a recording warning that a bomb would detonate in 15 minutes. Soon after, the RV exploded. Out of an abundance of caution, police have brought in bomb-sniffing dogs to search for any other devices. We're told 3 people were injured in the explosion and transported to the area hospitals. At least one is in stable condition and expected to be released at some point today. The Justice Department has diverted resources to this scene. The FBI and ATF are leading this investigation with more law enforcement officials to come. And that explosion damaged some 41 buildings in Nashville's downtown area. The mayor says it'll be a while before this area is back to normal. In Nashville, Charles Watson, Fox News.
A former Tampa resident was in Nashville this morning, just blocks away from where the bomb exploded. He spoke to Fox 13's Evan Axelbank about the terrifying experience.
He was driving from Omaha, Nebraska to Tampa. He stopped about halfway through, about 10 hours into his trip to spend the night in Nashville. He heard an explosion early this morning and from 2 blocks away pulled out his camera and recorded what he saw afterwards. Chris Haggerty is a former news photographer.
The black window, that's the room that I was staying in.
So he knew he had to capture what happened right in front of him as he was about to leave Nashville for Tampa.
I wasn't in my car for a minute, but the building next to it exploded.
This map shows where the car was parked in relation to where the RV was.
I did hear that mechanical voice that some people have been talking about.
But he couldn't make out what that voice was saying.
The corner of the building was between the explosion and my car, so I didn't feel any of the blast, but when I got out, I could see that all the windows and the boards in the buildings I could see nearby had been blown out.
As police swarmed, he began to reflect.
So yeah, I'm a little freaked out right now.
What if he'd chosen a different parking space or was still in the building, whose other side was closer to the explosion?
I've had a lot of what ifs going through my mind all day long. You know, I can't shake this feeling that I got very, very lucky.
After giving the video to local news crews, he hit the road for Tampa with more time to think about the destruction this caused.
I can't make sense of who would do something like this and why they would do it on a day like this.
But he does say plenty is lost nonetheless.
I got extraordinarily lucky. I'm okay. But for so many other people, you know, this has been just an unimaginably awful day.
He had planned to leave Nashville at 6 this morning, but got delayed and didn't leave until 6:30. That just shows how even the most routine decisions can put you closer or further away from danger. In Tampa, Evan Axelbank, Fox 13 News.
We are surely glad he made it out of the city safely today. Well, it certainly feels like Christmas out there today around the Tampa Bay area. Let's go to Fox 13 meteorologist Jim Weber with a look at the cool down and how long it'll last.
Yeah, you know, we talked about this. It was going to be the coldest Christmas that we've seen in 25 years, and it delivered on that today. 57 degrees for that daytime high. Now the view over Central Florida right now showing just some scattered clouds. Things are slowly starting to clear out. We had a few clouds off and on throughout the day, but still beautiful looking day for today. And with that enhanced cloud or satellite imagery, you can see some of these clouds, a lot of cold air clouds out into the Gulf of Mexico, but things are clearing out. We still have that northerly wind. So right now we're at 46 degrees, Wesley Chapel 42, 30s. In fact, 34 degrees in Crystal River, and Brooksville currently sits at 35 degrees. So we have those freeze warnings out to our north. Pasco or inland Pasco County, Hernando, and up into Citrus County from midnight until about 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. We're going to see these temperatures at freezing or below freezing. So by tomorrow morning, this is what we expect to see here in Tampa, 37 degrees, and then those 20s to our north. Brooksville, 29 degrees. Crystal River, 28 degrees. Some temperatures right around that freezing mark throughout Polk County as well. So we're going to warm up a little bit tomorrow, but still on the chilly side, and another night of freezing temperatures tomorrow. We'll talk about that coming up in just a few minutes, Haley.
Thanks, Jim. Families across Tampa Bay need a safe place to stay during these cold nights, but that has its challenges because shelters have limited capacity. As Fox 13's Jordan Matthews shows us, Hillsborough County works with a handful of shelters to make sure everyone has a warm place to stay if they need it.
Amazing.